How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado, and I get calls about this part of town all the time, and it's been a while since we visited. So is Littleton, Colorado the right town for you to move to? Well, let's talk about it, starting right now. All right, this is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Evertson. Listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to moving to or around the Denver metro area, and the Front Range for that matter, then this is a channel for you. So that subscribe button and notification icon you see on your screen, make sure you click on that as I'm dropping new videos for you each and every week. And as much as I try to be a little informative and creative here on camera, I'm also a licensed mortgage broker covering the entire state of Colorado and team with some of the state's most talented realtors. And we're helping people move here each and every day. So the number and email you see, know that I am always the person answering your phone calls, answer your texts, answer your emails. There, winning if you need me. Now that we're done with that fun-filled stuff, let's get to what we're here for, and that is Littleton, Colorado the right town for you to move to? All right, so good old Littleton, Colorado, one of my absolute favorite suburbs of Denver. Located south of Denver, moving southwest. I always kind of look like a weather person doing this. The forecast pushing us southwest. So if you Google Littleton, you're going to see the incorporated version. That's going to be a much smaller boundary. The unincorporated version stretches again all the way southwest out to the foothills, areas like Columbine, Beaumar, Ken Carroll. Moving south, you're going to be past Chatfield Reservoir to neighborhoods like Sterling Ranch that we'll get into. So a very sizable suburb, again, close to Inglewood, south of Lakewood. Lakewood and Littleton border each other. So originally people started moving to Littleton around 1859 during the Denver Gold Rush. It was founded in 1890 officially, and good old Richard Sullivan Little founded the town, decided to name it after himself. I mean, who wouldn't do that? I mean, Everettstown has to exist somewhere. And it started right around that downtown area. So one of the key focal points of Littleton is going to be downtown Main Street Littleton, with over 250 shops, a lot of them locally owned, mom and pop, boutiques, coffee shops, restaurants, you name it. Just a great area. Downtown Littleton is one of my absolute favorite areas to go and visit. Some of the neighborhoods around it, outstanding to live in, great restaurants, just a lot of good areas to go and visit. So while you have the great downtown area of Littleton, you also have a ton of outdoor area. So Littleton is home to over 1,400 acres of trails, hiking, you name it. Again, you can't get into the foothills without having hiking. Tons of parks, places like Hudson Garden, which is a great venue, not just to visit, it's also big for weddings and different events. Littleton is also right along the South Platte River. So not that Denver has massive rivers by any means, especially for those of you who are coming from the Midwest, but the South Platte River, there's a ton of great trails to go around there, just great reasons to get outdoors, and obviously you have parks everywhere. You also have the Highline Canal Trail. That's a long trail, stretches out east to Aurora, heads out to the foothills, so just a lot of reasons to get outdoors in Littleton. Now, a nice perk of Littleton, obviously because of its location, you're going to be pretty close to Denver, you're going to be pretty close to the Denver Tech Center, so a lot of economic factors in play nearby for you, but Littleton also has its own thriving economy. You'll see it throughout its downtown, stretching a little farther east out of Main Street, I should say. There's a lot of shops, a lot of retail, a lot of commercial space, education, healthcare, some tech companies. So while you're close to areas to get to work, say if you work in a downtown Denver or the tech center, there's also a lot of opportunities with work right there in Littleton. In fact, I talked to a couple people from YouTube yesterday who are moving to Littleton specifically because of the jobs they found there. So a lot going on from an economic standpoint. And obviously, economy is important, and so is housing. And Littleton has a great variety of housing options. And one of the things I think that draws people to it is that you've got your older established suburb neighborhoods that have been around for decades and decades. And you can get extremely suburb if you want to. You know, quiet neighborhoods where maybe you don't have a lot of walkability outside of getting to a park, but you know, it's quiet, kids are safe on the street, they're out playing, all those good things. Maybe again, you're tucked up into the foothills there, but you can also be closer to a downtown Littleton where you do have the walkability of the city. You could be closer to some of the shopping areas nearby downtown Littleton. You also have some great new construction areas. So I mentioned Sterling Ranch earlier, and obviously we'll get into specific neighborhoods, but you have new construction. So it's one of those communities where you have a variety of everything. If you want to find a home that was built in the early 1900s, you have the ability to do that. Some historic neighborhoods, maybe some bigger lots, where you can get some property, or if you'd rather be in a newer development, if you want to find newer apartments, condos, townhomes, it has it. Now, one of the number one factors that I get called about concerning Littleton is the public schools, and in a positive. So Littleton Public Schools covers the area, highly rated overall. Littleton also has some really promising programs, especially, and I've learned this through people calling me, the amount of special needs programs that exist in Littleton has been a wonderful surprise, I would say. And this started maybe a couple years ago. I had some people call me from the channel because they were doing research on the area and found, whether it was autism, various special needs, where they found programs in Littleton that were very beneficial, and Littleton is very forward-leaning and very active in that space. Littleton is also home to Arapahoe Community College, great local college, pretty small, but a great stepping stone for a lot of people, some really great programs there. So overall, education in Littleton, highly ranked and plenty of resources. Now, talking about some of my favorite areas or some of the more popular areas of Littleton, obviously around that downtown area is going to be huge. So downtown Littleton, there's a lot of communities that are both, if you want within walking distance, plenty of townhomes and different houses within, again, I'd say a 5 to 10 minute walk. And then if you're talking about a quick drive where maybe you're going to jump in the car for 5 to 10 minutes, you've got a plethora, as you would say, as far as options there. So great areas to live right around downtown Littleton. Moving a little west, areas like Columbine and Bomar, both very, very popular neighborhoods. Again, you're getting a bit more suburb there where, you're gonna see parks. Obviously, you're gonna have some shopping areas like Southwest Plaza comes to mind, but a bit quieter, if you will. And then you get over to Ken Carroll where, things really slow down. Ken Carroll is a great area. This little, it's almost like a miniature mountain town, if you will. You pull in between these canyons, you get up into some great mountain-ish properties where you're not in the mountains, but you're certainly off the grid a little bit. Very popular. Now, these are going to be older neighborhoods for the most part. You might see some new construction scattered in, but for the most part, these are communities that have been around for decades and decades. Now, if you're looking for new construction in just one spot, odds are you're going to be looking at an area like Sterling Ranch. Again, that is South Littleton, south of Chatfield Reservoir, which is one of those great outdoor activities that somehow when I was mentioning outdoor activities, I just kind of skipped over. Call me a homer who missed out on a piece. So Sterling Ranch, just a ton of new construction, several different builders in. And Sterling Ranch is also one of those well-developed master plan communities where they really thought through, where do you want your stores, where do you want your shops, your rec centers, all the amenities you need. Now, the knock, my opinion, and that has been shared with me, is that Sterling Ranch is a bit distant from places. So it can be a little bit of a drive to get up, whether you're going to downtown Littleton or if you're trying to get up to Denver, you could be looking at a 45 minute drive from Sterling Ranch to get up to Denver. And something I've really enjoyed about these communities in Denver, and again, I don't know if these always existed or some of them did, but they've grown, but you're seeing a lot more community events. So in Littleton, among others, you're going to see some of my personal favorites. You've got the Western Welcome Week, which is about a 10-day festival, just really celebrating the community and spirits. You've got the Littleton Twilight Criterium. I'm probably mispronouncing that word, and then you can make fun of me for it. I'm going to look after the fact and be like, that's not how you pronounce it, but, at least I made an effort to read. I don't know what to tell you. And then who doesn't love a good candlelight walk with carolers? You're carrying around, you're carrying around your candle. You got Santa out and about. Just great around the holidays, right around this time of year. So just enjoyable events in and around Littleton. And Littleton has some really great history to it. Again, you don't really go to a town founded in the 1800s and not have some substance. So Littleton Museum, Smithsonian associated, so a great museum there. Also, you've got the Town Hall Arts Center. and a lot of different public art installations, and a lot of things that are there for a sustainable, lengthy period of time, and then things that kind of pop up and go away. So a lot in the art community because of Littleton. Now, I know I mentioned obviously Littleton's location and some of its quick access to Denver, but it is important to know that most areas of Littleton, if you're around downtown Littleton, you can get to Denver within maybe 15, 20 minutes. If you're over in Ken Carroll, your drive might be a little longer. You're probably going to jump 470. A pretty quick drive from an area like Ken Carroll to get down into the Denver Tech Center. But the really nice thing about being around downtown Littleton is the light rail. And the light rail runs right into the heart of downtown, easy to jump that train, get to where you need to be. So residents who are living in and around downtown Littleton can really take advantage of that. And as you might have guessed, being that you're on the west side of town, being as close as you are to highways like C470, 285, another one of our highways that starts heading into the mountains, you have very quick access. Whether you are already on the west side of Littleton, you're minutes from the mountains, or you're in, say, downtown Littleton, you can still jump, whether it's on, odds are you're going to jump on 285 at that point, and you're going to be, again, in the canyons of the foothills and getting into the Rocky Mountains in 20 to 25 minutes, depending on traffic. And there's going to be somebody who comments that tells me it's faster, and there's going to be somebody who comments who tells me who's slower. I don't know. Try the drive and tell me how long it takes you. And a couple last key points that I would make is that ongoing development in Littleton, not just in areas like Sterling Ranch, but you're seeing a lot, both commercially and residentially. New houses, new companies moving there, new structures. As I mentioned, I had a friend call me from the channel talking about moving out to Littleton, and one of the reasons he was doing so was his company was already located in Littleton, getting ready to move to a bigger facility within the town. So a lot of positives from that standpoint. And then I wanted to add at the end, and this is really something that friends, clients, people I know who live in Littleton have shared with me. We talk about a community with a heart, that there's just a lot of involvement within Littleton. There are a lot of different programs, a lot of different events that just fosters a caring for the community and really tries to get more and more people involved. It's a very welcoming community from, again, what I have experienced personally and what my friends and clients have as well. And there's a lot of programs down there, some of which I'm getting involved with myself as far as just giving back to the community, being a part of things, helping those in need. So, I think you just kind of get that experience in general. I mentioned earlier about some of the school programs they have and how, again, caring and compassionate and empathetic that this community is. I think that extends to all types of people. So among one of my absolute favorite places in all of Denver, Littleton is certainly a place I would suggest you take a look at. It might just be the right fit for you and yours. And listen, if you have some questions about it, that's the perfect opportunity to hit me up. With a phone call, a text, an email, know that I am always the person answering those. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I'm your host, Jimmy Everett. That was, is Littleton, Colorado the right town for you to move to? Till I see you next time, peace.